Jordan Jackson Show. The Jordan Jackson Show. Come on, let it roll. The Jordan Jackson Show. The Jordan Jackson.
Are we really preparing our children for life? We spent 18 years telling young people what to do. Go to school, get a job, go to college. But nobody really teaches them how to deal with failure, money, relationships, pressure, and figuring out who they are. So today we're talking about what young adults are really struggling with. Welcome to the Jordan Jackson Show. Today I'm sitting down with someone who works directly with the youth and their struggles up close, Mr. Cedric Towner. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Before you became a guidance counselor, what do you think your life was going to look like?
Honestly, you don't know that. You have so many things, as a kid, growing up that you would like to do. I can just, being completely honest, grew up, and for me, I guess the stereotype is you was gonna play sports if you was good at sports. So I played basketball, I ran track, I was playing football. So of course in the neighborhood, or at school, you say, I'm going to the NBA.
Sure.
I'm gonna run track, but never really, get a good feel for what you want to do for some of us. Some children know right away. I didn't. I just was going on day to day, just enjoying being a kid, what I could enjoy of my childhood, and that was sports. I did a lot of sports. I was smart in school, and I played a lot of sports.
What made you decide to choose this career after going through all of that?
I grew up in foster care, in group homes, not right away. Of course, raised by a single mom, not having a dad in my life. And my mother later became addicted to drugs. And prior to that, just backtracking, when I was born, my grandmother raised me and I moved back to Chicago. I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, moved back to Chicago, and was raised by my mother at the age of 11, 12 years old. And from there, things were, up and down. Mm-hmm. Good years, bad years, good month, bad month, to the point where eventually drugs took over her. I'm the oldest of 5 on her side. They took us out of her home, and placed us in foster care, placed us in group homes. And by that time, you really don't know what's gonna go on with your life. Mm-hmm. It was like, where is this? What am I doing? And luckily, what kicked in for me was I knew right from wrong. My grandmother instilled that growing up in the church, but I understood, looking at the situation, I'm a good person that can observe. So I observed my surroundings and was like, this is not for me. I don't want this to be me. This can't be my end result at such a young age. This can't be what's finna happen for me. So I made a decision at a young age, even with the struggles, that I was going to try to be better than what was in front of me.
Now, with you going through all those things and, moving around, what do young people misunderstand about adulthood and what's coming as they're being young?
It's difficult. Honestly, this is being an adult is not an easy thing. You hear children, I can't wait till I'm grown, because they don't want to follow structure. They don't want to follow the rules. They want to be their own person, because at some point in time you think, as a kid, why they won't let me go to the party? Why I can't stay out late? They stay out late. You go out, you do this, and not understanding that
protects
that protection, but not understanding rules, not in the home, but outside the home, not understanding and danger, safety, all those different things, those components, and just being responsible, as an adult.
What's something you see young adults struggling with that parents don't really get to see sometime with dealing with the youth?
I don't think parents today, it's different. And what I mean by that, growing up as a kid, and I'm 53 years old, so growing up, the rules were the rules, non-negotiable. What I cook, you eat. Go to bed, no homework, no outside, no television. I think a lot of the children need consistency. See, it was consistent. Those things were consistent back then. You know, my way or the highway. I remember in my grandmother's house. I remember in one of my moms. I called her my mom, Mama Diane. She had on her refrigerator, if you think you're grown, act now. Move out while you still can. You know what I mean? It was one of those, like, it was a warning.
Yeah.
Like, I'm protecting you. I'm saving you. I'm helping you. But if you don't want my help and you don't want the help of people around, because they always say it takes a village, right? So if it takes a village, that means that you have to be able to embrace that village. You got to be able to be receptive to that. Today, I think children want to be heard because the world has put them on a platform.
Yeah.
You know, giving them a platform, you know, so to speak.
We couldn't be heard.
To have, it was. You don't talk.
You don't
in my
talk
house.
when grown folks talking.
You don't
like,
talk when grown folks talking. You know, I don't need to hear what you say. You know, you don't like what I said.
But you can't tell it. You can't say an adult was wrong.
You can be right. You can be right.
You're still wrong if that adult said he was wrong.
And there was a time and a place for everything. You had to understand that time and that place. And the neighbors could discipline you until your parents got home. Ain't no neighbor disciplining.
Oh man, no.
Kids and
Lawsuits,
you know, so now, but different environments today, you know, if your child, if you're fortunate enough to give your child a decent life, and you know your neighborhood and your community, and everybody knows you, your wife, your husband, whatever you have going on, you know, or just you as a single person, and they know your child, they're gonna say, now I'm gonna talk to your mom when you get home. Those type of things can still happen, and they do still happen. Right. It's just not, you don't hear about it a lot because of where we are with the world, you know, the dynamics, the demographics of where we are. You know, it's just like, you can't talk, don't talk to my kid. You're not, that's not, you're not, they, no.
Nobody kids is bad either.
Right,
In this new generation of parenting, nobody got no bad kids.
So so now children like to be heard. They just want to flex and be heard, even when they shouldn't be heard. It's just, can I say something? No, not really. And then that becomes a problem, you know, so.
So I know that you already, you know, you're a very good person. I happened to meet you years back performing at Fox Theater. And with me knowing that, you as a person, when did you realize, I just want to help people? When
we got, you know, removed from my mom's care, people gravitated around me that didn't have to because I wasn't their son. Mm-hmm. And so I can remember like it was yesterday when I left my mama Diane's house and I went into a group home. And the staff used to take us on every Friday, all the good kids get to go on activities. So clearly I was one of the kids that always had the points. And we went to the movies and the staff went to see a different movie. At the end of the movie, his was on first. He was standing at the top and some people were making noise. And he thought it was us. And when we got back up to the lobby, he was like, that's why your mamas don't want you. We can't take you nowhere. And I was a hothead. Even though I was smart and I was humble and the kids gravitated around me like a leader, I still was hurting. I was an angry kid too, because I didn't want to be there, but I just had to adjust. But I didn't want to be there, so I was just wilding out with him, going off, to the point where he ended up restraining me. When we got back to the facility, I got restrained, and other staff had to help him. And so later that week, he still tried to talk to me, and I was just like, I didn't want to talk to him. I actually used the H word, hate. That was strongest. Like I hate you. Don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. That, yeah. And but it was a message that he told me. He said, when you stop being angry and realize your potential, you're gonna go far. I see something in you. And I'm thinking as a little kid, like, what you see in me? Because I don't need you to see nothing in me. But that message was, when you move out of your own way, watch what God does for you. When you move out of your own way, watch the potential. You have a lot of potential. You're gonna go far. And so even today, when I've got into this field, and even up until today, once I started, when I mentor young men, when I talk to young ladies, when I go to the schools and I'm speaking, when I get the opportunities to speak, I'm asking them to get out of their own way. There are people who actually care about you outside of your home. Yes, blood makes you relatives, but all your relatives don't have to be blood related. And people who really care about you don't have to
Yes,
be
sir.
blood related. And so I want them to understand that, your beginning is not your end result if you want better. If you want better, you can do better. It's proof. There are enough people in this world today that you know that started rocky and they're successful, but they had to work to get there. They had to put in a lot of work. So when you got out of your own way, and I just decided I wanted to get out of my own way. I didn't want to keep holding myself back. So let me see what that means, get out of my own way. So when I start being angry, I start being humble, I start being receptive to the message. And, God did the rest, for me. And that's even with me being told no. I got told no a lot, not right now. That program won't work. It happened, but I kept going because it was my dream, it was my vision.
Yeah.
And so I was consistent, I was persistent, and I didn't give up,
Wow,
So.
look at God, man. So are young adults having a harder time building real relationships these days, in your opinion?
Our youth today, it's hard for them to trust because they're so busy being judged. People are being so busy judging them. You can make a mistake, the simplest mistake. You can get suspended for school, it might not be your fault. You could be with somebody who stole a car. You didn't know it was stolen, but you were in the car. So now people are looking at you as, don't go around her, don't go around him. All those different things.
You know what grandma used to say though,
and,
the company you keep.
Yeah, but even the parents can cause their children to get labeled. And the children not even do anything. People label you it happened to me. I didn't know my father, but people would tell me you're gonna be just like your dad. And I would be like, if you know him, I should be mad at you too. So how you gonna tell me I'm gonna be like somebody I don't know? I don't know, I'm gonna be like him, but, or I would be like my mom, so I knew I didn't want to do drugs. I knew I didn't want to be strung out on drugs. If drugs causes you to lose your children, causes you to be out here homeless and struggling, I didn't want to struggle.
We're talking about that, harder time building real relationships. What role do you think social media has influenced the youngsters these days?
It's not just our youth that's influenced by social media. The world is influenced by social media. But the impact on our youth, social media plays a big part, in it. But social media is not all bad either.
Right.
It just has a big impact on our youth. There are a lot of young people who have become millionaires from social media platforms that they've created. But then there are a lot of things that go on social media that other children want to emulate, with the fighting that's being posted, with the guns and the violence.
You know what I've noticed though with social media, and sometimes I don't know if it's just misleading, but the biggest thing I've noticed is back in the day, if you had some type of deficiency, whether it was a missing finger or big neck, whatever you had, it was you was frowned upon or people made fun of you, to where now people that have anything wrong with them, they take that to social media, and that one thing that's wrong with them, they're getting paid off of that. And then another thing that I've noticed with social media is the positive stuff is not shared or not pushed by platforms as much as things that are pushed that is negative. Have you kind of noticed that a little bit? It's the positive stuff ain't getting the high numbers the way something negative. If you decided to give 10 scholarships to people, that ain't gonna make as much media views as if you had stolen some money from a school.
I think it boils down to what that person is looking for. Mm-hmm. If he or she is looking for negativity, be it social media, be it community, you're gonna find it, right? If you say, I don't have time for that, I don't wanna see that fight, you're gonna keep scrolling. Every kid on social media is not gravitating towards, negativity. Mm-hmm. Every person's not gravitating towards positive things either. Yeah. If you're a negative person, of course you're gonna be like, did you see that fight? Mm-hmm. Did you see that? That's just like with comedy, with skits. I follow them, in one of your lanes that if I follow skits, I'm gonna look at Mojo, I'm gonna look at Country Wayne, I'm gonna look at Kevin Hart, and I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna find, that's what I like to do. So I know on social media what TikTok page to go to, what Instagram page to go to. So I'm gonna find that. People look at if Roscoe, Wildfire promotes fights all the time, that person who likes to see the fights, that's who they gonna look for.
Yeah, that's what's gonna be in your feed.
That's what's gonna be in your feed. Yeah, that's who you're gonna follow. You're gonna follow that.
That negative stuff.
Negative.
If you liking it and you put this, so you can program the negativity.
Yes. There are some people when negative things happen on social media, the comments don't all be for, oh, that was a good fight. You have those positive people saying,
that's a good point.
This is what y'all watching. Out of everything y'all could be doing, y'all want to promote this. So negativity doesn't run social media. It's all about that person and what they are looking for. But there are a lot of positive people on social media. There are a lot of positive women. There are a lot of positive men that speak life into you.
So for the parents out there that are watching, how can a parent tell when their child is struggling versus just going through normal growing pains of being a young adult?
Today's parent probably pays attention to the child struggling when the child stops speaking, isolating. You ask them how they doing, everything is always fine. Oh, nothing, I'm good. Children have to really, really, if they want to help, speak up more, not be scared. There are people outside of your home that's willing to help. Some of our children too probably are scared to talk.
Yeah.
Have been, brainwashed not to talk. And what happens in this house stays in this house. And so now they don't know who they can talk to. Again, it goes back to trust. It goes back to who can I trust to tell that my father's molesting me? Who can I trust to tell that my mom is selling me? Who can I trust to say that there's no food in the house? Who can I trust without it getting back to them? And then I still got to come home to them.
Right.
Because nobody's going to take me out of that house. But you should always have a platform and be able to speak to somebody if things are not going right for you, that's causing harm for you.
Do you think influencers today with these millions of followers, do you think they have a responsibility since our youth are listening to these people every day? Do you think they have some kind of responsibility to try to put out something positive, to try to teach these youngsters the right way to go, even though a lot of times a lot of this stuff is just an act, but these people think that this is real and this is how life is. Do you think they have a type of responsibility?
Yeah, I think everybody have a responsibility for our youth. I think no matter where you are, I think everybody has a responsibility to help our youth, to do their part, especially when our sons and our daughters are going off to college or they get up every morning and go off to school. We're putting our children's lives in somebody else's care. So everybody has a responsibility. The teacher, the principal, the counselor, the guidance counselor, the gym teacher, we all play a part in our children's lives.
And they're bigger influences. Like Coach Fricks, my teacher, my basketball coach, it was character first, basketball second. And that stayed with me the whole time. So, we all have teachers, counselors, coaches that were a bigger influences on our life than we even realized until down the road. Even an uncle, your mean uncle made you mine.
Yeah, my motto is one team, one goal. I've been saying that over 30 years, one team, one goal. And that's what we do at our agency, one team, one goal. That means we all are on the same page. We all want the best for you. We want you to become the best version of yourself. It's not about who wears the hat, who the leader is. We all play a position. We all have a role to play. And if we all do our role, if we all fulfill that 100% with commitment, dedication, loyalty, integrity, honesty, all those things, somebody's life is going to be changed for the better.
If you're watching this right now and you're between the age of 18 and 25, I want you to answer this in the comments. What's the hardest part about becoming an adult that nobody is prepared for? Make sure you take your time to answer the questions because it's going to be in a future episode. So we got the business that you started, where you're helping young adults as well as families. Tell us a little bit about the business and why you started that.
When I was in school, coming up in high school, the counselor or your teacher, they would say, 5, 10 years from now, what do you want to do? And I would say, I want to be a teacher. I want to be a social worker. First thing they would say, ain't no money in that. Mm-hmm. But for me, growing up in the system, I didn't look at my counselor, I didn't look at my caseworker as being rich. I looked at them as they're saving my life. They saved my life. I went through these struggles and I didn't understand and I was mad. Like, I'm seeing everybody, my friends, they stay with their parents and I don't. They got hot meals, I don't. Life is good, right? And now today, a lot of my friends tell me, you always had it in you. What you're doing now is we always knew you would be there. We always knew that this was for you. And they tell me how much they were proud of me. And then I've had youth that I've worked with at a younger age when they were younger, and they'll find me on social media, and I'll go through my message, and somebody will say, I just want to tell you because of you, I made it. And so I respond to them like, no, because of you, you made it. I was just part of the puzzle. You always had it in you. I'm just thankful that you allowed me the opportunity to help you, because sometimes we just don't want to fail. We just don't have people to keep encouraging us not to fail. My business is called Youth Development Project Corp. It came from just, like I said, growing up, in foster care myself, and I'm legally adopted. I had an early liking for wanting to help others be successful, other children, not necessarily that walked the same journey in the path that I had, but just had some struggles, didn't know if they would ever overcome. So I wanted to create something that gave them hope, to know that, again, your beginning doesn't have to be your end, and so what we do at our agency, that I'm very blessed to have, and I have an amazing team of people that, go out every day in the communities and work these services, provide these services, an office admin team. So we provide mentoring. We do home-based casework with youth, meaning behavior modification, helping them become better, whether it's looking for a job, life skills, independent life skills, parenting, financial literacy. We help parents as well with budgeting, finding apartments, just working on everyday living, developing coping skills for our youth, father engagement, where we work with fathers who come home from prison and get them back involved in their children's lives, just to create a safe environment, a safe space for them, therapy. We do a homemaker parent aid. We do a lot of things where we provide different services to help our families become a unit again and put goals in place for them to accomplish so that they can go off and get their life back on track,
That's amazing. So when a young adult sits down in front of you, what's usually going on with them?
They want to be heard. They don't understand what they did and why everybody making a big deal about it. Sometimes they don't even want the services. They don't believe that they can get in trouble. Just because they haven't gotten caught to the extreme where they're receiving, 10 to 15, 20 years, although they've probably had family members and friends that have gotten that time or even, passed away at an early age. Sometimes, if it doesn't happen to them, they don't believe that it can happen, right? Even though they're seeing it every day.
Now, what do you do when a young person comes in and they have no idea what they want to do in life? What kind of advice do you have for the young people who are still just trying to figure it out?
We figure it out together.
What's the biggest mistake that you see parents making today?
Saying yes to everything.
Okay.
Saying yes,
Do you think it's possible today to be a friend to your child and the dad, as far as, and a parent, as far as we can be cool, but there's a line that you cannot cross. Do you think that's possible to still do some responsibilities, but at the same time be cool with your kids?
I won't necessarily say I want to be their friend. I'm dad, but I know how to have a nice time with my children. But I'm quick to say I'm not your friend.
What's something young people need to hear but just don't want to hear?
I love you. And embrace it. I love you. Like sometimes they just don't want to hear it because they don't even want to sit around you sometimes. They say, I love you. Or good job. Or that wasn't, being honest with them. That wasn't a good decision you made. You have the honesty, just be honest with them.
It's funny though that you touched on the other side of not knowing, if you may need that hug. So what's something that parents need to hear but don't want to hear?
Thank you. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad. I appreciate you. I love you. And I know you're working hard. And I just want to let you know that it's not going unseen. Your messages are not going unheard. I appreciate you. That's what children need to be more in tune with,
Now, me and you, we come from an era where young adults really, we talked about it earlier, where young adults can't be heard. Today, do you think that teenagers and young adults should be heard in any instant?
Yeah, I do. Times are different. Mental health is real. Emotions are real. Again, we talked about the internet earlier, and there's so many things going on that these children have access to that we didn't, that can traumatize them and just put them in a weird space. They watch their friends go through things, and so they should be heard all the time within reason, meaning that they can come to you and say, hey, Mom, hey, Dad, can I have a conversation with you?
Right.
That type of being heard, respectful manner. But if I'm having a conversation with you where I'm talking to you about something you did wrong.
And you gonna cut me off?
Yeah, we're not doing that.
It's funny because who's actually under more pressure these days, a young person or the parents?
Both.
Both.
Yeah, it's because the children want to fit in, and they want to be accepted. And the parents don't want to be looked at as a failure, with their children. I don't think parents want to fail. I think sometimes it's just a little harder for some than it is for others, But it's about accepting the help. Being open to receiving help will go a long way.
Well, man, this has been a great conversation, Ced. Thank you for taking the time and allowing me to come into your beautiful home. This has been the Jordan Jackson Show. We talk about real people, real life, and conversations we don't always have. Until next time, don't watch the conversation. Be a part of it. I'm Jordan Jackson. I'll see you next time.
The Jordan Jackson Show. The Jordan Jackson Show.